Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with atbbq.com, and this is Grilled Bloomin Onion. Well, it's that time of year again. The big game is coming up just less than 2 weeks away now, and whether or not you like football, chances are you're going to a party. So today, I'm gonna hook you up with a really fantastic party recipe, sort of an appetizer. It's the Bloomin' Onion, but we're gonna do a grilled take on it. So the first thing we're gonna do is prepare the onion, and we're gonna start by cutting just that top little bit off to expose all of these different layers. Then we're gonna come to the root side, and we need to peel all of this back, this papery stuff, so any of the thin layers, peel that all the way back to the root and get rid of it. Now once we've got our onion completely peeled, we're going to cut it into 16ths. And we're gonna start just about 1/8 of an inch outside of that root right there and cut straight down. We'll start by going into quarters. And then take those quarters in half and those quarters into quarters until we get 16 cuts all the way around. And what that's going to do is create these bloomin' onion petals. So now when you flip that over, you can kind of gently start to work that apart. We're leaving it intact in the center, and that's what's going to hold everything together. Just sort of gently spread this apart. Now if you want to, you can continue straight on to the breading process right now, but we're going to try and add some more flavor to our blooming onion by brining it before we do that. We're going to be using a brine from Oak Ridge Barbecue today. This is the Game Changer brine. You can pick this up over at atbbq.com. It has great, just basic brine, savory brine flavors. You've got your salt. Of course, you're always gonna have some sugar. You've got some onion, garlic, black pepper. There's even a little bit of chili flavor in there. So we're gonna mix 1 cup of that powder with 1/2 gallon of water. And you just wanna whisk this until most of those little specks look like they've dissolved. And I'm gonna transfer that brine liquid into our 8-quart briner bucket. And with this amount of liquid, you should be able to get a couple of these onions in here. Probably pretty easily get a 3rd one if you like. Then you're gonna lock that plate into place to keep the onions submerged. Now I'd recommend letting those onions go for about 90 minutes to really soak up those flavors, but I didn't want to make you guys wait today, so we did another batch earlier and we can go ahead and pull them out now. So as these onions have soaked in this brine, they're getting a little bit softer, which is great because they won't take as long to cook. And they also will open up a little bit easier after soaking. Yeah, they pretty much just fall open for you at this point. Now I'm just looking for any spots to make sure that if I need to open this up just a little bit further, I can make that last cut. Most of these are looking pretty good. I don't think we're gonna have any issues here. Next, we're gonna set up for the 3-stage breading process. So we're gonna start off with 2 cups of all-purpose flour. And we're gonna add to that a 1/4 cup of barbecue seasoning, which in this case is the Our Butts Are Smoking Butt Kickin' Chicken. So we'll just give that a mix. That's going to be our initial flour dredge. And then we'll move to the wet. We're gonna need 4 eggs. We'll crack those here into our pitcher. You need something wide enough that you can fit that onion inside of it. So a small bowl or a pitcher like this one. We'll whip that up. And we'll add to the eggs 1 cup of heavy cream. So we're first gonna lay our first onion here in the flour and just try to get it pretty coated. Shake off the excess, move that back to the sheet pan. Repeat that process with the second onion. So this initial bit of seasoned flour here is going to help the egg wash stick, and then we'll come back into the flour with an added ingredient for the third stage. And that last ingredient is 1 cup of panko. So this is gonna give us some extra texture and extra crunch on the outside of that onion. All right, so we're gonna go right into the wet ingredients with the onion. Just kind of wanna get that into all those nooks and crannies. If you can manage to keep a hand clean, good for you. If not, that's all right. And once that's well coated, we'll move over to the breadcrumb and panko mixture. So again, just trying to get down into all those nooks and crannies. Let's shake off some excess and back to the sheet pan. A little deeper down, you'll find some of those wet spots. You can add just a little bit more of that breading to the wet spots. And it's not as pretty as it was when we started, but it's gonna look even better once it's fully baked. Coming back in with the second onion now. Again, we're getting in between all of our little petals. You gotta give that panko and flour something to stick to. Let's get all of our surfaces coated, working in between all the layers of our bloomin' onion. And those eggs and heavy cream just do a great job of giving this seasoned flour and panko mixture something to stick to. Well, the onions are good to go onto the grill, so I want to show you how we've got this thing set up today. We're cooking on the Kamado Joe Classic II today, and you can see that it's sitting right around 400 degrees inside. And that's set up for indirect grilling. So we've got our deflectors in place, but we're running nice and hot. And we're gonna put down a little bit of foil today so that nothing falls through. Plus it'll make it a little bit easier to remove these from the grill when they're done cooking. One last thing before we close the lid, we're gonna hit the surface with a little bit of spray duck fat, just to help give it that faux fried feeling. Now, depending on the size of onion you're working with and exactly where your grill is set, these are gonna take around 45 minutes to cook. We're gonna check on them in about 25 to 30 just to see how the color is coming along and if we'll need to cover these up to stop the browning process before the onions get fully tender. So we'll be back in just a little bit. Well, it's been about 30 minutes now. You can see that the tips are starting to get kind of dark and we're getting some good browning just a little bit further down, but we need this to soften up just a bit more, so I'm going to tint some foil over it to finish the cook. That should help slow down the browning process while trapping some of that heat in there and softening the onion. Now, almost as important as everything else, you always have to have a great dipping sauce with a bloomin' onion. So let's go ahead and put that together now. We're gonna start off with a ½ cup of Firebug mild grilling sauce. This is a fruit-based barbecue sauce. And we'll add to that a ¼ cup of Big Rick's jalapeno honey mustard. And finally, a ¼ cup of prepared mayonnaise. Now, if this sauce looks familiar, you probably are recognizing it from our backyard baby back rib video. This is the sauce that we created for those baby back ribs as well, but they work really well with this bloomin' onion. All right, so a good whisk, and that's all it needs. All right, so we've got some nice browning all the way around now. The onions are tender all the way in the center, so we're gonna slide these off of here. So all that's left to do is to dress this thing up just a little bit, finish it off, and have a taste. I'm gonna start with a drizzle of that sauce over the top, and then just because, how about some bacon? Finish things off with some scallions and a little extra sauce on the side. All right, let's dig in. Love the scallions on top, because that gives it a fresh pop right off the bat. But then you get all the crunchiness. It's the goodness of fried food, but done on the grill. Sauce is unbelievable. Works great with the breading. Can't go wrong with bacon. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out atbbq.com for all the products featured in today's video. If you enjoyed the recipe, please hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments, or there's anything you'd like to see me cook, let me know in the comment section down below, and let's be good to one another. For more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to atbbq.com/thesauce. All things barbecue, where barbecue legends are made.